Hello and happy Halloween, everyone, which does date this if you are watching this webinar on demand. I am joined by our good ISV partners, Yavrio and XE.com. And today we're bidding adieu to bank files. On this incredibly haunting webinar, I am joined by Lorena. I'm joined by Lewis.
Hey, good to meet you all. Great to be here.
I'm joined by James from Yavrio.
Hello, great to be here as well.
Wonderful. So for today's webinar, we are going to be talking about the death of bank transfer files. Yavrio and XE have collaborated to create some innovative solutions for modern bank transfer. We're also going to be looking at resurrecting efficiency and monster-proofing your operations. You can see we had a lot of fun putting this agenda together. We will have a live demo of the joint solution in F&O, and there will be some time at Q&A for partners. If you are watching this live or on demand, please do feel free to put any questions in the chat. And towards the end of the session, we'll cover those off. If you're watching them on demand, then someone will be in touch very soon to assist. Okay, over to the Yavrio team. Lorena. Oh, Lorena, I think we're getting a little bit of a mic issue with you. If you're all right to maybe change a microphone, or James, do you want to field this slide?
Yeah, I can jump in. Unless Lorena, you get your. How about if you get your audio up and running, then jump in and you can take over from me. Yeah, so here we've got the problem and what problems do we solve. So very quickly as an overview, Yavrio was created by our CEO, John Lewis, who was a consultant himself. And he saw that these issues were reoccurring, and he wanted to create a solution around these issues. So the first issue is manual bank access. And along with that, having to persistently log into all your bank accounts for end-of-month reconciliations, you have to download and upload files. You have to mess around with these files, which in turn, of course, creates data and security concerns because, as we all know, files can be tampered with. And alongside these data, we've got the manual processes. I don't know is anyone else getting feedback of my voice?
I think
no.
That's Lorena's audio working.
Oh, brilliant. Okay,
great.
Brilliant.
Okay.
I'll hand over to you then, Lorena.
Great, thank you. Do let me know if there's a problem with the mic. Thank you. Yeah, so death of files for Halloween. Basically, as James just said, really what we are out to solve, and our founder, John Lewis, was a consultant in the Microsoft ecosystem and saw that this problem was still a big issue for companies. And that's how 4 years ago set out to build Yavrio, and now Yavrio is growing really fast. And we are seeing consistently this problem. It's a legacy problem that people are really now innovating and bringing these solutions to their live implementations. But it is about automating, and it is about overcoming the issues around the manual errors that can happen, the lengthy processes around end of year and end of quarter and end of month reconciliation processes, and having to deal with massive files back and forth to make payments, which are prone to errors and are also prone to fraud. So this is what we're here to solve. And the way we approach this, we have two aspects of our solution, which is, on the one hand, we address the connection to the banks using APIs, so seamless integration instead of files. And we use a combination of open banking and direct treasury connections. and that's what a bank feeds module. And then cash ops, which is about processing payments in an embedded format, streamlining that process of doing accounts payables, and also bringing inbound and outbound payments with embedded security. So if we go a little bit deeper into what the bank feeds include, so it is about bringing that live banking data so that people can access their live banking data by connecting to their accounts wherever they are, anywhere in the world, to their ERP system in a very seamless way, with automation around the reconciliation process. And the premium treasury connections, we also build specific direct connections to the bank of choice, but using that seamless API mechanism instead of files. And that's for those cases that open banking is not available. And so we cover any bank in the world, any country in the world, to provide this solution. And also having this new concept of what we call our magic bank reconciliation using machine learning, so infrastructure AI, to actually minimize and actually eliminate any configuration requirements from the finance side, to actually be able to predict and match transactions and seamlessly reconcile. On the cash op side, as we mentioned earlier, and we're going to go a little bit deeper into international payments with Lewis as well in a moment, we cover domestic and international payments across different jurisdictions, different mechanisms, whether it's UK, EU, US, and we have a broad coverage around the world. In terms of then on the inbound side, we cover direct debit systems. We're also expanding to card management, card payments, and collection of invoices, and all done with a secure encrypted mode and validation of those payments for enhanced security. Okay, Lewis.
It's over to me. Thank you, Lorena. So before we touch on this slide here, I think it'd be important just to give a snapshot as to the reason why we're here today, and XE and Yavrio are such a great partnership, and a bit of background on how we add value not just to customers but also to our partners. We have a shared value. Our ethos is to provide partners and customers with a truly embedded experience. So everything we're going to be speaking about today and showing you today, there will be no files involved, hence the title. There's so many implementations going on today where outdated processes and systems are being integrated into very expensive piece of kit in finance and operations. What we're looking to do here today is showcase how our solutions can automate, bring your banking and payments into the modern world, and that's obviously no files. So just to touch on that, with XE, we have simplified global payments and foreign exchange within the ERP environment, so within BC and finance and operations, and we can do that now with a click of a button. So the solution with XE is connected directly to the vendor MasterCard. So that allows us to pull in bulk multi-currency transactions directly into a single payment journal. Okay, so using native functionality within the environment, you can prepare your vendor payment journals. You can validate that information against real-time databases for ensuring that the SWIFT code is correct, the IBAN is correct for the country and the currency, even against real-time databases for fraud and sanction screening. Because we have that direct API connection, we can provide embedded FX, instant vendor bank account validation, providing real-time FX gain and loss calculations against when the invoice was raised to when it was paid using XE rates, and full audit trail and full traceability, on all payments. Next slide, please. So Why would you want to embed XE and why does it matter? Okay, so if you look at the before and after here, so standard out of the box processes where you're using payment files or you're leaving the environment to execute foreign exchange with a bank or some middleware, you have duplicated entries across systems. You have that because you're leaving the environment and also you're using payment files again, which can be prone to human error and indeed can be hacked and not very secure for this modern processes. So when you look at the kind of before, so the way businesses have been managing these quite complex processes, to having a fully embedded solution whereby you have seamless automation directly within the environment. You have accurate real-time FX data and spot rate execution. You also have faster, more secure cross-border payments because we're validating the vendor bank information directly within the environment. And of course, with that, you have full transparency within the platform as well. So when you have the combined solutions where you have embedded banking, all of the great stuff that Yavrio provide alongside embedded FX and global payments with XE, you have the full package within the within your ERP system. Over to you, Lorraine.
Yes, thank you, Lewis. So yeah, super exciting to see how the two solutions work together really seamlessly. And this is just an example where we are covering with the combination of open banking and treasury connections across multiple regions across the world. And, you know, for example, in the USA, we cover over 12,000 different bank accounts, and we cover different type of payments, ACH, RTP, wire transfers. So our approach is to really cover any kind of methodology and protocol that people use for doing open banking. And the standard default way that people have been doing this to date has been doing it bespoke, custom integrations, file-based solutions, which, as we talked about earlier, pose a lot of problems. And as banks change their API connections, as regulation changes, as Microsoft products evolve, that work that has been done on a custom basis needs to be updated every single time. That's why Yavrio comes in to provide this global coverage and strong backend solution that covers all these different systems and mechanisms for connection. And that's our core focus and our core expertise, supporting the integration also on the international payments via XE. Thank you. Next slide. So we have a couple of examples. We have over 500 plus clients for Yavrio in the short time we've been operating for 4 years. So we're growing really fast. We've seen fantastic uptake in the market globally. And some examples of, for example, the Kansas City Chiefs, who are using as one of the leading, football teams in the US, Super Bowl winners, and how they've been able to have massive ROI gains around removing files and then being able to fast track the reconciliation and reduce manual work completely. And then another example, so we have companies like Sodexo, very large brand, and then also some local names that people in the UK will notice as well, like, North Anglia Education, Southbank Centre, Big Yellow Self-Storage. And then we also have another company like DC Thompson. So big companies across industries that are relying on Yavrio for managing their open banking alongside XE.
Yeah, and so I think this is where the demos come in. So I'll kick off with a demo of Yavrio in F&O. If you are a BC person and you want a demo of Yavrio in BC, we're always happy to provide that as well. So we'll kick off with the initial stage, which is going to be connecting to your bank account. So once the package is installed, you get to connect your bank account as a first step. So we'll select our banking card, and we'll scroll down and we'll see in the Yavrio Fast tab right here, there is currently no connection, but never fear, Yavrio is here. I don't think that's actually part of our phrases, but there we go. So we're going to connect to a bank account. Today we're going to do one in the United Kingdom, and excuse me, and we're going to select to, we're going to click on Modelo Sandbox for today, and we'll select that institution. If you're fancy and you like QR codes, you could go ahead and use the QR code, or you can just click that button, and this will send you to the bank portal. You will log in. This is really important that we send you to the bank portal, because Yavrio will not store any of your banking details. And so for the initial connection stage, we're going to log in via the bank. And so you can see I've selected one account here. If you wanted to do 10 or 20, or I think we've done maybe 150 accounts in one go before, you could do that, but today it's just one account. So authentication was successful, and unfortunately it won't connect. So what I'll do for you is I'll just jump straight to this demo here, so you can see what it actually looks like. From the authentication successful stage, so if I just big screen this, here we go. So what will happen is these bank details will come in straight from your bank, and you can go ahead and you'll select your bank card. As you can see, selecting a Sandbox banking card, and you accept this license. This license is really important because this is about compliance with the open banking rules and regulations in the UK. And you can see in this demo that there is a connection status that's confirmed, and there is an expiry date associated with that consent token. This can be renewed I think it's every 60 days in the UK and every 90 days in the EU. You've also got your live bank balance here, which is obviously really nice to be able to just see your live cash position. And so the next thing we're going to show you is getting bank transactions. And so we make sure we've got advanced bank recs turned on, and we go into bank statements here. We open up a new bank statement to import these, and keyword here, filelessly, so no files involved. And you can see here that the transactions are not there. And what we'll do is we'll click Get Bank Transactions, and we'll select a date. So let's say we select for the month of April and May in this demo, and we just simply click Import Transactions, and here they come. A little bit of patience involved, but not very much. You don't need very much with Yavrio. And you can see here all the statement lines have been pulled in just like that. It's really very wonderful. No logging into bank accounts, no dealing with files. They just come straight in. You can validate and then go ahead and confirm those, and you'll get the total number of lines that you've just pulled in. So 1,206 lines. There's not really a limit. So as many lines as you want. You're then ready to go ahead and reconcile in worksheet. So you can create a new worksheet here, and you'll be able to see the transactions in your worksheet, and you'll be able to then go ahead and match them against what would be posted transactions on the right there. Obviously, it's a demo account, so that nothing's being used live, so there's nothing posted there, but you'll be very familiar with the normal reconciliation process. And this is also where our matching feature can come in and perform auto reconciliations for you and match up. And so then you can just go about your usual reconciliation processes. And again, that's all filelessly. So we're going to jump very quickly to payments. And so let's open up a vendor payment journal. You can see here I've got two payment lines in here of £160. And the payment status is set to none because we haven't sent them yet, of course. So we'll send them as BACS payments today. and we go ahead and we click send payments, and those will simply get sent off, but not quite, because obviously we want to go through a authentication process, and we have a built-in secure authorization portal to go along with the BACS payments. So this is really important to maintain all your authorization flows. So an authorizer will get an email, as you can see here. They'll then get the option to review those payments. This will then take them to the Yavrio authentication portal, whereby they will sign in with their Microsoft account, and you can see the details of the payments. Here, the vendor that it is going to, and the total amounts of payments. So again, that's at £60 and that £100 there. The authorizer will then have to click that they authorize it. They'll get they'll have to double confirm with their authenticator app, just for extra security. Then they get to authorize that payment. That will then jump to authorized. Now, this is in the case that there is one authorizer. Obviously, depending on the amounts that you're sending, so let's say you're sending over £10,000, maybe you want to have two people authenticate that, authorize that payment, or perhaps you want to have a specific person authorize a certain value amount. You can configure all of that in your authorization portal. And so that has now been done. We can now see that the payments are pending. This is because they're BACS payments, and so they will take up to 3 working days to clear. But effectively, that is the payment side of things. And so that concludes the Yavrio demo, connecting to bank accounts and getting transactions filelessly and also sending payments filelessly. So I'll pass over now to Lewis, who will show you the XE demo.
Excellent. Thanks, James.
Thank you, James. Okay. Can you see my screen okay then?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So what I'll be looking to simulate today is how you can follow standard, I suppose, native finance and operations workflows in order to go through your payment approval workflows, suggest your, or should I say, payment proposal. So what payments are due for today or this week, and then how you can pull in multi-currency vendors, also multi-payment rail, into one journal, execute live FX rates directly within finance and operations, and also then post those payments and show you how they would reconcile. So what I've set up here is a multi-currency journal. As you can see, we have Indian rupee payment, we have sterling, Mexican pesos, we have Indonesian rupiah, we've got Japanese yen and CAD. Okay, so fully multi-currency. XE capabilities will allow you to pull all of those transactions into one journal. Okay, as I mentioned at the start, the reason we are able to do this is because our API is connected directly to the vendor card, validating that the information is correct, the IBAN, the SWIFT, etc. Validated, you're ready to pay. Okay, so just like Yavrio, we are plug and play. Okay, so accounts can be created pretty much same day. We can have customers up and running within, probably a month, and you can be fully tested, validated, ready to process payments with XE. Okay. So once you've gone through your standard process, so prepare or create a payment proposal, you've gone through your workflows. Again, you do not need to have any external workflows of XE. Your workflows are now directly within the environment. All we need to do here is click Pay with XE to move to the next step. Okay, so on the right-hand side here, we would have the summary of how the customer would look to settle with XE. We have various options whereby we can connect via direct debit or ACH, but for today, we'll show you how you can just go through a standard wire transfer settlement. So XE would be set up as like an embedded bank. So that's the way to view the solution. We are set up as like an embedded bank, embedded payment institution. That's what allows us to be fully embedded and make the payments directly from the environment without leaving. So once you are connected here, all you need to do is click OK, and you will see that the API will now pull against XE's treasury solution, providing you with real-time exchange rates that count down from 90 seconds. Okay. The quote can refresh at any point, but again, we hold that rate or these rates for up to 90 seconds. Okay. So as you can see here, in this particular example, you've got a dollar sterling rate, dollar Mexican peso rate, etc., etc. Okay. Now, the approve button here is the final approval. Okay. So once the approve button is clicked, the exchange rates are then locked in. XE will then lock those exchange rates in, provide a contract note. Settlement would commence, whether that's direct debit or wire transfer, and the payments would be sent directly from the environment. Okay. So as you will see here, you've got a total settlement figure here of 8,076.83. That's in dollars against all of these multi-currency vendors. So you have real-time settlement amount, real-time exchange rates. So, you know, we're completely removing the need for any kind of manual intervention, any need to leave the environment, or any need to set up a payment file. And as you will know, payment files would be one currency per file, where with XE you can do multi-currency in a batch. So as you can see, I refreshed the quote there, and the fees will be. That did not work. Just bear with me.
The Halloween spirits.
Okay, there we go. Live demo. All we need to do now is go ahead and approve. You'll see the total amount did update slightly because the exchange rates did update. All we need to do now is click OK to the terms and conditions, which is essentially that XE will process the payments the moment we receive settlement. As I mentioned, there are options available: direct debit, Yavrio open banking connections, or indeed a standard wire transfer. So we would follow the company's internal policies and procedures. We do not replace any bank approval. So if a company was to maintain a 2 or 3 level payment approval process on their bank, rest assured that will remain intact. All we're doing here is approving the payments, executing the live FX rates, validating the vendors, all within the environment, all without a payment file, and without having to leave the system. So as you can see, everything now has been approved and confirmed. Deal confirmation sent over to the customers, outlining all the exchange rates, how much to settle, etc. All we need to do now is go ahead and post. Everything's now been posted. And as we'll see here now, if we go to the posted section, let's go to the bottom. You'll see here that these are the payments we just approved. Okay. Allowing you to go into those vouchers and see how they've been posted. We also have a field here for, let's have a look here. So if we go into accounts payable, you'll see that once you have the XE functionality, you have XE contracts. It provides a nice holistic view over all of your batches and exactly what status they're in, i.e. not settled or awaiting approval or quote required. So it provides accounts payable teams a nice holistic view over all of their payment batches. And also from a reconciliation perspective, because they would be connected to a Yavrio bank account, as per James's demonstration, where you can reconcile all of your transactions on a daily basis or more frequent if you need to. Under bank account reconciliations and your worksheets, to give you an example here, you'll see the debit amount leaving the bank against the XE batch number. And then if we simulate here, you'll see the batch numbers relating to all of those payments, allowing for reconciliation. So whether you're matching automatically using the Yavrio functionality, where you can reconcile more automatically, but essentially everything is in real time, posted, reconciled. So our customers have basically an audit-ready banking and payment solution that's plug and play and requires no files. That's it.
And did we mention the no files bit as well?
Yeah. A few buzzwords there for sure, and embedded and files would certainly stand out.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, everyone. Really appreciate the detailed run through. And we do have a couple of minutes. If there are any questions, again, do feel free to put them into the comments. While people are doing that, Lorena, Lewis, I guess I've got a question. I mean, from a Microsoft partner perspective, you're an FO partner, you're working with clients every single day. Are there any specific industries or use cases that I should be on the lookout for to introduce Yavrio and XE to?
Yes, I'll start. Basically, we cover all industries, which is great, right? So we don't have a specialization, but we also are, very aligned to a number of industries where, we see a lot of demand, especially on the F&O side, on manufacturing, retail. So obviously mid-sized and larger companies, but it really spans every industry: life sciences, professional services, financial services, software tech. So it's quite a broad aspect. Yes. And one of the things we also wanted to touch on from an implementation perspective, we have our little motto, which is live in 5, which is basically, people say, what was that, 5 hours, 5 days, 5 weeks? It's actually 5 minutes. So it really is absolutely seamless to implement our solutions, both on the F&O and I'm going to let Luis say, but also on the XE side, on the Yavrio and XE side. And that is, again, a big change in innovation, which is we took care of all that work so that companies will have their other ISV solutions, they will have their bespoke custom integrations, implementation, things that they added to their specific environments, and we can plug into that very quickly with support of their implementation partner, or if in some cases they have their own internal departments, and we can very seamlessly, quickly plug into that. And we, as part of our customer success commitment to do that.
Awesome. So slashing not just bank files, but implementation times as well.
Yes.
Wonderful. Lewis, anything you'd like to add around that?
Yeah, from our side, any business that lends itself to making a high volume of global payments and foreign exchange, not necessarily industry specific. So if you look at the XE customer base, we have customers of all different shapes and sizes across multiple industry verticals, whether they're manufacturing, they might be a not-for-profit organization, they could be in retail, fashion. As you know, retail and fashion, not much is manufactured in the UK anymore. It tends to come from overseas. So yeah, or just businesses that tend to have multiple subsidiaries globally, so they have to report on, you know, their subsidiaries in, you know, Africa or the Far East, for example. They tend to have complexities not just around FX reporting, but also when it comes to building connections into various banks and different payment files, etc., which, you know, tends to be the use case for most implementations. Where XE would then add instant value from that perspective is just one consolidated payment solution directly within finance and operations, or indeed BC. Like I said, because we connect directly to the vendor card, they can pull in any payment method, payment currency, you know, it can all be pulled in and ultimately consolidated into one solution. So yeah, from our perspective, we pretty much cover 95% of industries and geos. So yeah, but the larger the transactional volume, the bigger the FX volume as well, then the more attractive it is for us, for sure.
Excellent. Well, thank you all for your time. Really appreciate your time today. And I know that all of you will be at Directions EMEA next week as well.
Looking forward to it.
But absolutely. All treat and no trick. So have a lovely Halloween, and hopefully we'll speak to you all soon.
That's
Brilliant.
brilliant.
Thanks, Rufus.
Thank
Thank you, Rufus. Thanks all.